Is March 26, 2026. Of course, today. Of course. Of course. Reprobate people. In the beginning of the case, they talked about a Michelle Lauren. Okay? Showed up in Louisville 19. Said they were Dave's illegitimate daughters. Okay? They're Dave's illegitimate daughters. They grew up with nothing, so they'd make sure I had nothing. Then they told everybody they should steal from me because they grew up with nothing. I owe them nothing in life. Do you know who they rode around with? Judge Peters' group from Florida that were saying they were human traffickers. That were saying that they were selling people, the big truck guys that were trying to grab people. They were part of them. Are they Dave's legitimate daughters? They may be. But do I owe his illegitimate daughters that aren't mine anything? No. Does his illegitimate kids have a right to steal from me? No. And then they're part of a human trafficking group, riding around with Judge Peters' group from Florida that were grabbing people. Seen with them, seen getting in their vehicles. They told everybody that Henry Maffei Will guy was dating them. He was stealing everything for them because they grew up with nothing. Well, where is that my fault? If they were really Dave's illegitimate daughters, why didn't their mother file for child support? Then I could have caught him cheating, and the only way out of an apostolic marriage is adultery or death. I could have left him years ago, and then he could have beat on their mother and planned her death. Are they Dave's illegitimate daughters? Probably not. Scammers. Because if they really were his daughters, why didn't their mom file for child support? They would have attached his wages. Who owes them money in life? Their mother and father? Does some woman that just married their biological father, knew nothing of them, owe them nothing? I owe them nothing. They're not my children. Don't know them. Somebody you don't know has no right to rob you blind. Today, off in the distance, heard those girls yell. Will was supposed to be stealing for us. Found out he's trying to steal, that agent's trying to steal for some other girl who's supposed to be his girlfriend. I'm going to call my dad. Huh? You going to call Ghostbusters? When you realize it's just Judge Peters' groups trying to steal for everyone. Oh, and we know that investigator heard he announced it in Walmart West Task, March 20th, 2026, by the electronic aisle, that he didn't find it one bit funny where that an agent had got it out of that family of why on earth would you say it offended you? That Strange called her a faker. They said it didn't even concern them. They were lying about everything to help get away with this. He said, I didn't find it one bit funny when an agent showed up and told me that family admitted they lied about everything to help him get away with this. And I don't believe one bit she ever threatened Katie. Because I've listened to Karen, and Katie always cheated with Tim, so it'd be ridiculous in her mind that Katie would ever cheat with Dave. I know. I would never threaten her anyways. Would have been my way out to get a divorce. I taped Dave December 9th, 18. I never caught him with anyone. So there was no one to threaten. I wouldn't have threatened her anyways. I would have just divorced the bastard. Oh. And we avoided her like the plague because she was always cheating with Tim. Made my sister cry. That way we didn't even have to acknowledge her. When she made up that lie that Dave was cheating with her, we avoided her more like the plague. Walked on the other side of the kiosk so she couldn't say we said anything. We wouldn't have to look at her. She just lied. I told you it's a case of the dumb people that lied. I haven't talked to her in 15 years, at least 15 years, and maybe said hi if she walked by in the mall. She said hi first. To acknowledge her. Wanted nothing to do with that family because she made my sister cry since 2001. I told you. After the case started, they came up with this ridiculous lie. Ridiculous lie. Absolutely ridiculous. That I told you how I got sick with all the surgeries and my muscles clenched. Went to a bunch of crackpots. They almost killed me over 2 years. Massive body swelling, heart attack, seizures, thyroid, adrenal gland shut down. They even were lying that I had brain tumors. And my doctor told me how they were known for lying, falsely diagnosing people, ripping off, making them sick, and getting kickbacks from the drug companies. It was a medication doing it to me. The only thing was wrong with me is my muscles locked up. I went to Dr. Eli Hickrate. He put me on fentanyl patches. Fentanyl is 100 times stronger than morphine. And muscle relaxers. In over 9 months, that massive body swelling went down, and within 2 months, I didn't have heart attacks. I didn't have seizures anymore. Thyroid, adrenal gland got better. I mean, it started working again, but they were chemically shut down. They were killing me. And it took me 9 months to learn to walk again. I was so swollen my knees would pop out of place from the massive swelling. The fluid built up under my knees. Orthopedic doctor would drain turkey-based syringes of fluid out from underneath my knees, put steroids in it. Gave me canes and braces because my knees would pop out of place. Took 9 months to learn to walk again. On numb feet. I was in so much pain, my muscles that were clenched from all the surgeries would rise up through the skin like a baby pushing through its mother's stomach, and the blood vessels would break and I'd bleed through my skin. I have red freckles. The blood vessels burst. It's documented medical malpractice, fraud, and medication errors, everything but my muscles locked up. And I didn't get well till July. I got the fentanyl patches redone mid-June of 2003. Got a prescription. I have the actual package that came in. The fentanyl patches. The Daragesic 100 milligram. It's 100 times stronger than morphine. I got them refilled in June because my muscles at times would still clench. Now, one of their lies, I heard after the case, that she was supposed to stood up in the middle of the funeral, scream, "God heal me," and start walking around. My God, that never happened. My God, that never happened. I didn't get well till mid-July. In June, I got my fentanyl patches redone. Because I still needed them. I told you, I took Danny to the calling hours, and I was sitting in a seat with my canes and braces. He walked up to pay his respect to his friend Tyler that was killed in that traffic accident. I was so mad at Ron, him grabbing my 14-year-old, pulling him over and saying, "Look at your dead friend, look at him." He's a little 14-year-old kid. He didn't care about nobody but himself, terrorizing him like that. He got back to the pew, he was shaking. I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Do you want to go?" He said, "No, I just want to sit here." I had my canes and braces. Still had them. Month and a half later. was learning to walk again. It was excruciating pain I had to fight through. And that family making up such mean lies. And that guy in McDonald's on Route 62 across from McDonald's yesterday, I walk in, he repeats that fucking shitty lie. I was so pissed. Oh, that family, how much it devastated. And then says that lie. You know, they already confessed to an agent. They lied. Before March 27th, 25, he announced he already got it out of him. That investigator that showed up at Walmart West Tusk on March 20th, 2026, by the electronic aisle, yelling it out. He got it out of that family over a year ago. That they lied about everything so people would help out in this. Those girls off in the distance that were yelling today that they were supposed to be stealing for them because they grew up with nothing. We know now we can't use it because the investigators already announced it at Walmart. I doubt they're Dave's kids. They were with Judge Peters' group from Florida, riding with the big truck guys that were admitting they were human traffickers grabbing people. See what I mean? They're scammers. And regardless, they're not my children. I owe them nothing in life. I owe them nothing in life. You know, Walmart employees told me they keep everything's tape and audio, so do the cops, in every aisle in Walmart's. They have a big poster outside, tape and audio. They said they keep them for years. So, April 28th, 24, Walmart on the Strip, North Canton, right outside Belgium. Oh, you want an eye-opening day? They would still have it. I walk in, guy's on the phone, I was listening to the recorded line. That agent did admit to telling on her before he talked to her. He did talk to her like that. They better do something about it. Go to the veggie aisle. Officer in uniform shows up. FBI case. I was listening to this today, Karen. We all know nobody drugs anybody but the drug cartel. Was a drug cartel in your home before? We all know that guy told on it you before he talked to you, and I want to know how he heard it and he took off after him. Now, Mel's kids, where she thought she could help Dave's girlfriend, Michelle, get everything, the mean games of pretend, Thanksgiving of 18. Cops in Walmart after Thanksgiving 18 and the feds called her out. Why are they having the kids make that shit up? Oh, they're just trying to scare her out of giving up the house. That's it. Her whole family spoke highly of her. That Melissa's so stupid she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. And Officer Mark. Melissa could go to jail for involving herself in this. I'd hate to arrest her. Why don't we just write it up? Her and the kids were showing off for Dave and his new girlfriends. Let's see. What? And then Massillon police told Mount Carmel, Illinois, June 23rd to July 4th of 21, they're documented mean games to pretend she never hurt anyone. Oh. Starr County Sheriff's in May of 21, where they said a Kurt just found out they were lying. In May of 21, the Starr County Sheriff's called him slow. If Kurt just found out those kids are lying, he's slow. October 5th, 21, in front of one of my clients, they were talking about that girl and her kids lying. In Huntington Bank on Cleveland Avenue. We walk out, he said, who's that crazy Melissa? They all talk about lying everywhere we go. I said the ex-daughter-in-law, friends with ex's girlfriend, had the kids make up some mean games to pretend in front of the police. on Thanksgiving of 18. He said, is she crazy? I said, yes. He said they're still talking about that girl lying years later. They talked about her lying in Pennsylvania, Kentucky, and Illinois in 21 because they put this up on the internet and went viral. Remember, you sold the locket. January 1926, they sold it to Fairlawn. They were talking, those kids were taped, stating they were lying. Oh, this is funny. And John totally defending her that no one could ever say anything bad about her. He even asked me in 2021, to be a reliable name on a court record, to pick up his kids after school trying to get custody of them. I was working 2 jobs and I didn't get off the first one, let alone the second one, and I wasn't making it. Hardly at all. One job only made $10 an hour. I said, I don't get off the first job, let alone the second one. I barely make it now. I can't afford to help you. I'm sorry. Beg me, but these are my kids, Mom. I'll lose them. I need you to be that reliable name on a court record. Pick them up. I said, John, I'm sorry. I'll lose my apartment. I can't help you. He ended up losing his kids. Moved to Florida years ago. Met this other woman. Married. Started his own church. Lives in Florida for years. Found out last June 13th, 14th. Had somebody impersonating John riding around with him, asking people to help harm me. He would never ask anybody to help harm his mother. Some guy was outside my work. If John's been in Florida for years, who's have I been talking to? They said, we don't know. They had somebody impersonate him. They had somebody impersonate Danny and Jen, calling in the tape of Weird With Yourself, which is the shower scene in the other room. They didn't know about it, and they wouldn't have anything to do with it. They had somebody impersonate Josh. He had nothing to do with it and no knowledge of it. They had somebody impersonate my mother, badmouth me. They found out my mother lived in Illinois since 03, trying to pull off their con. Get the idea? It's a big scam. July 26, 25. Walmart 62, an investigator from 18, where and Bob Evans before that, some couple got smart with me and I went off. Went off on them. Was talking to a waitress how stupid these people are. Go over to Walmart. Investigator follows me in about before 9 o'clock in the morning or 10. And they're talking real loud. I told that couple never to say a word to her again. I interviewed John years ago. Said nothing bad ever happened to him. They were talking about a clear down in Magnolia that day. June 7th, 25, they went to Dr. Haven's office on Frank Road, and he verified there was never any abuse to any of those children, and they were very well taken care of. Had been their pediatrician for 18 years, seen them several times a year, and they were very well taken care of. And no sign of any kind of abuse at all. You want medical proof? There you go. Can't just roofie someone. Pulling a smart-ass move. Okay. Going back to April 28th, 24, Walmart on the Strip. That guy, Kurt, they made fun of. He's on the phone with someone. Somebody's on the phone with him. Kurt, none of this is funny. They have that agent on a recorder line admitting to telling on her before he talked to her. They have her whole family taped defending her and saying they didn't know anything about this. The other ones taped saying they made everything up. And these people admitting they drugged her and told her to say it before. Photoshopped everything and made everything up on her. None of this is funny. Everyone stay out of it. You know they taped that man saying that. Pam, walks by with her granddaughter. Uncle Dave said he had someone tape her before. Oh, they'll verify it. We walk outside. I walk outside. The investigators bust out laughing. Took her long enough to admit she was in it with Dave in those stocking tapes. Her family was linked to the fall ending. Now she's in it with Dave in those stocking tapes. Her family better never verify it. The police have them taped defending her and saying they didn't know anything about it, and the other one saying they made everything up. And these people admitting that they drugged her and told her to say it before, photoshopped everything and made everything up on her. The police would have to arrest them for being in it with Dave trying to kill her and cover it up. They would probably still have that because they keep them for years. April 28th, 24, Walmart on the Strip right outside Belton. Like a hurricane of chaos I've lived in for 7 years. Then they'd have the December 1st, 25, of where the other Michelle, the real pretty one with the long blonde hair, where they threatened her life for telling that agent that the doctor from before wasn't one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. When they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me and leave me incompetent at work, and he broke up with her. They threatened to kill that little girl. Instead of cowering, she went badass. Every time her and her friends find out something, they go to investigators. That's how you stop this. December 1st, 25, Walmart 62. An investigator came in. Michelle showed up in my office, told me these people confessed that this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government, and her ex-husband was involved. They all were. If you don't realize, they all were. Everybody that walked in that office was part of the scam to extort money from the government. I told you Strange hated the government. Government's evil. They'll take your kids, they'll brainwash them. You have to hide your guns in the backyard and pipes. They're evil. It's the evil government. His son's mistress, her family member Michelle, and her dad messed up in drugs. Helped him run a drug scam on someone and scare him into calling the FBI. Go in there and offer that agent a bribe. And then try to get him to commit crimes in front of him and tape him. Then blackmail him. Trying to extort money out of the FBI. Where they said that they were setting that agent up to be arrested the whole time. They were going after him. They admitted that in 22. December 1st, 25, Michelle showed up in my office, admitted this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was involved. Like I said, they all were. That's why they were there. Said she told me that that the doctor from before was not one of hers. He works for them, and they had lied. He was one of her doctors. She actually don't know who he is. That guy Pete that was in my office running his mouth about her, she doesn't even know who he is. It's just some guy Dave hired on his own. And they admitted to using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. You can go to August 7th, 25 in Walmart 62, investigators saying it. They have him taped admitting again to drugging her and telling her to say it before and using hypnotic drugs on her, and she would not have any memory of those people, and that's why she had a metal taste in her mouth, and then calling Agent John a coward. Walmart 62, August 7th, 25. Investigators. They have them. Okay? These people admitted to using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. She has no memory of those people. And that tape of Weird with Yourself is nothing but photoshopped of washing yourself in the shower, and they photoshopped that. The whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. They all were involved. Going in there with a Twilight scam, a photoshopped of washing, fake sodium pentothal reports, drugs and told to say it, fake dirty doctors, breaking HIPAA. Twilight Zone. Every law that can't be broke. But offering a federal agent a bribe, taking it. And where he's supposed to be acting like he's going along with it, tape him acting that way. Then try to blackmail him out of money. Then anybody got arrested, sue for false arrest under fraud. Millions of dollars. I got the date of last year where they were announcing an alliance. They were going after his case. June 4th, 25, they wanted him to show up and explain himself for those drug dealers going to jail. June 7th, 25, they already talked to Dr. Haben, and he told them there was never any abuse on her children, that they were all very well taken care of. The real doctor. So, do we have any questions? Myers, North Main, May 26, 24. A lady comes in. I talked to the officers that worked her case. They said that it's ridiculous for anybody to insult her. She almost died to save children. They always knew she was drugged and told to say it before. And that tape of Weird with Yourself is photoshopped of washing in the shower. The whole thing was a scam. And it's ridiculous for anybody to ever insult her. She almost died to save everyone. In January 19, the investigators came in. It's ridiculous for any child to be afraid of Karen. She's nothing but good and love. Karen doesn't have it in her to hurt anyone. By January to March of 19, investigators yelling at people, harassing me. Karen's one of the finest women you'd ever meet in life. Don't you ever disrespect her. By October, November 2020, in Belden, at the FedEx, for we all know this woman is innocent. Officer Mark, August of 23, on a Tuesday between noon and 1, is documented and verified she was framed before, and it was a drug cartel in her home before. They seen him. I was 23. You know, these so-called, and the investigators have called these religious groups that show up, so-called religious groups. You need to realize how not funny this is. They had foreign nationals involved in killing people, and they're helping out with this. They need to go to jail. They have damned their soul forever. You know, the Bible talks about being reprobate, searing your conscience till you don't know right from wrong. They don't even fear God not to do crimes. Real godly people, and they call the people doing this godless. They don't even have God in them. They didn't fear God not to do this. They don't even have a conscience. They take and put Jesus on their shirts or their trucks, and they run around acting like they're justified, having somebody drugged, beat, raped, human trafficked, murdered in front of people. That shows you're demon possessed. God doesn't hurt anybody. God is love. I told Dave that a long time ago. in the Bible. He preached about the children of the devil, iniquity, people coming a reprobate mind and turning their hearts and souls over to Satan until they're demon possessed. The Bible talks about people having a form of godliness. It's just a facade. Blaspheming God with all their actions. If people cannot see with the way you act, the way you talk, and the way you treat people, the love of God in you, then you don't have it in you. For when you do evil, evil controls you. You have a human will that no matter what, the devil can tempt you, and you can always tell it no. And it's your choice if you give in to the ways of the devil of harming people. You know, you see serial killers on TV and newscasts. Oh my God, those people participated in what? And these so-called godless people that put the word Jesus on their chest or their vehicles and blaspheme his name every day when they go out and with their actions and their words and becoming part of demon-possessed activities. They have become nothing but pure evil themselves, and Satan has possessed their mind and soul till they do not have a conscience no more. The Bible talks about becoming reprobate and searing your mind and heart with a hot iron. For in the last days, there'll be people with a form of godliness. It's a facade. God doesn't act this way, the devil does. People need to check their souls and their consciousness and realize they have damned their soul to hell for their actions and their behavior and putting it into being righteous. And it's nothing but demon possession. Jim Jones, David Koresh, Charles Manson, controlling other people to kill other people, and justified in their actions, in their own satanic minds, and fools following them like mindless boobs. I have no tolerance for these people and the evilness they participated in. Like they said, people have died over this. People were sold, they were taken, and these people participating in any of this and not telling on them, they have become as evil as the ones doing it. And then to find laughter out of it. And they dare insult me for my ex-husband's girlfriend's dad and his drug friends running a drug scam on me. And falling for it like a mindless boobs. And you know, June 7th, 23, Lighthouse made fun of FBI agent John, how they fooled him. Publicly mocked him. July 9th, 23, made fun of the FBI and dared him to fix it. They called him a coward. August 5th, 25. And August 7th, 25, they have him taped him calling him a coward. So, does that idiot in McDonald's on 62 across from Walmart yesterday realize where that family already confessed a year ago to an agent? They were lying about everything so people would help out. They announced it. Like those girls said, those investigators announced it in Walmart. They've been announcing everything. Because this needs to stop. And that investigator is right. I don't believe she ever threatened Katie. Never threatened her. Why would I? And listen to Karen talk how Tim always dated Katie. It'd be ridiculous for Dave to ever date her in her mind. Of course it would be. She always dated Tim since 2001. And I would have never threatened her anyways. It'd be my way out of that abusive marriage. In the apostolic religion, you only get out of that marriage by death or an adultery. So if they were honestly cheating, why didn't you just divorce me and go live on our big farm? Oh. Exactly. Because what is this really about? Hmm? Just like December 9th, 18, I never caught Dave with anyone, so there was no one to threaten. So September 18, 24, what is this really about? Hmm? I worked on Forest Grove Drive in Akron, pulled in a client's house, 8:30 in the morning. An agent is talking to the next door neighbors. I don't want you to say anything to her. I went over and he said it was a medication error that made her sick before. September 18, 24, I pull in, an agent's there talking to the next door neighbor. I pull in, he said, I don't want you to say anything to her. It was a medication error that made her sick before. That agent needs to get his facts straight before he puts his name on it. Why'd they wait 15 years? Well, I went over and I talked to him. They confessed to a federal agent. I went and talked to those church people. They confessed to me that when Strange thought she was following Tim and Katie in 03, he ordered her to be killed. And nobody was to say or do a thing until Dave wanted a divorce. They were to have her killed or have her destroyed. Make sure she had nothing. He ordered it in 03. When he thought she was following Tim and Katie, no one was allowed to say a word until Dave said he wanted a divorce, and it took him 15 years to say it while they planned her death and destruction. This whole thing was over Strange thinking she followed Tim and Katie, and it was Linda. Wasn't even Karen. The agent needs to get his facts straight before he puts his name on it. So they already got it out of the church people. And by March 27, 25, they already got it out of that family. So where they've announced that several times, and where that investigator announced it in Walmart on West Huss, March 20th, 26th, by the electronics. So that idiot McDonald's yesterday on March 25th, 26th, made himself look like the biggest fool and jackass in the world, repeating a lie that was already debunked years ago. And they played you like a fool you are. A fool you are. Now, we're going to put it this way. That Henry Mavi run around telling people how ugly I am. I may not be the prettiest thing. But you know what? For being 58, I pass in my 40s. I don't even hardly wear makeup. I pass for in my 40s. Do you know how many men have told me they thought I was beautiful? And just because he's ugly as a fucking horse's ass, and he has a small dick syndrome, and he thinks he has to harm people to prove his manhood. And that idiot in there, when I walked out of the ladies' restroom yesterday, he had already been saying stuff when I came in. Said, hey, you can go off to the left to use that bathroom where you fit or something stupid. Tell me to go to the men's restroom. I was waiting for Carl to come out. I just looked at him. And sitting there laughing at me. Another ugly horse-ass face man mocking a woman he doesn't even know. Maybe if you took a little bit of your money and paid for plastic surgery, you wouldn't be so fucking ugly. Maybe if you learned some manners, you actually could get a woman that'd like you. And then maybe you wouldn't be going around for women that you've never met, terrorizing them and saying stuff to them in stores. And then maybe fucking fools that run around lying, trying to extort money from the government, you wouldn't fall for their stupid scams, and you wouldn't be such a dumbass moron bastard. If somebody could come in and feed you this big line of hock and bullshit, and you fall hook, line, and sinker, and they made a fool out of you. A fool out of you. A fucking fool out of you. Publicly. How do you like it? They made a public fool out of you for falling for all their lies and scams to extort money from the government. How do you like it? Being made a public fool. You need to embrace that one. I'm going to upload this.